Something that happened to me and that happens to many people when they come to Mexico is once you find a friend or family members, I mean, when I say family, someone that was a friend and became part of your family later on, that's how they deal in Mexico. And this is something really important. Here in Mexico, our culture, it's based on family, traditions, grandparents, similar to other nationalities. We have this in Mexico and it's very well cemented. One of the things I will recommend is to read about the history of Mexico like you will do with any other country. A very important subject I want to talk about is the cultural shock or the cultural differences people have when they're coming to Mexico. Something really important to understand in Mexico is that Mexicans tend to avoid to say no. Many countries have the same thing, but here in Mexico it's going to be something really, you will see it a lot. Example, if someone invited me for dinner tonight, I will probably say, yes, that's a really good idea. I will let you know later on my answer, but they will never say no. If you are in business, same thing. I mean, they will never say no. And that causes a lot of conflict for foreigners when coming to Mexico for business, or if they're invited for lunch, for dinner, for going out, and they consider Mexicans to not being honest, and it's not that the case. It's just because they try to avoid conflict and they just say whatever they need instead of saying no. They don't want to offend people by saying no. Okay. Another one that's really important is that there's a word you will hear a lot in Mexico. That the word is ahorita. Ahorita means the real meaning of ahorita is that, yes, I heard you, I will do it later on. Ahorita, many people in Latin America or Spain, when they say the word ahorita, means now. Here for us is just, yes, I heard you, and that's enough. I mean, I will do it whenever I can. So that start building up more conflicts. If someone tells you ahorita, and on plus they will never say no, then that will start building up and cause someone to have the cultural shock. Exposed to a cultural shock and read about the culture, you will grow as a person, you will understand the new culture, and you will adapt faster. And that way, when you move to another country, it will be easier for you. And something I will also like to share with you is Mexican food. And this is related to the cultural shock also. Because you might notice, I mean, if you go to anywhere in the world to a Mexican restaurant, you will always see that they have salsas, chiles, hot peppers, whatever. Not all Mexican food is spicy. I mean, I will explain you how you can deal with it. But that also causes cultural shock because people, when they go to eat tacos at the street, when they go to restaurants, they're expecting, I don't know, probably just to eat plain food. And here in Mexico, if you go to a Mexican restaurant, they're expecting that, I mean, they think that you want something spicy. That's why you went to Mexican food. It's funny, but here in Mexico, we have Mexican food. But what I wanted to say, if you go to a taco stand, you can just say, I want tacos with no salsa. If you go and ask for, I don't know, beef, chicken, steak, whatever, it doesn't have to come with spices. I mean, most of the time they will put it next to you and you can use whatever you want. But some other people, and never ask a Mexican if something is spicy or not, because they will say, no, it's mild. And it's not, because we've been eating spices for many, many years. So something that's spicy for me, it might kill you. Or it's something that's really mild for me, it might be really hot for you. So never ask a Mexican, just try it. I mean, you can just put your finger and try to see if something is spicy. But that's something really important. Mexican food varies a lot from state to state, city to city, north, south, east, west, coast. So the if you go north, you will see that they eat a lot of beef. They do barbecues, they eat goat, they eat a lot of chicken. If you go to the coast, of course, there's going to be seafood, there's going to be fish, marlin, whatever. I mean, if you go central Mexico, we eat a lot of bugs. I mean, there's worms, there's some larvas, there's grasshoppers, and all of those things are delicious. I mean, I really recommend you to get your stereotypes about Mexican food or eating bugs and try them. They're really healthy, they're tasty, they're really good, and it's going to be a good experience that you will never forget about Mexico. One of the things I want to share with you, and it's really important, is that it's about security and safety in Mexico City. When I first came to Mexico City, it was in 2000, around 2001, and I was quite afraid, as many of us is. I mean, when they told me I was moving to Mexico City, and I read the news and I saw in the newspaper all the things that were happening, I was quite afraid. I was afraid of going out of the hotels, restaurants. But after a while, I noticed that people are quite friendly here in Mexico City. You don't need to feel afraid. You can walk around the street, you can go to parks, go to supermarkets. People are quite friendly in the city, the same as in the country. If you're in the city, one of the problems I experienced, I mean, I speak Spanish, so that's not a problem. But if you don't speak Spanish, one of the concerns people have is that if they go to the supermarket or they go to the pharmacy, that they're going to be struggling with the language. That's not the case. When you hear the news, there's a lot of information always talking about drug cartels and kidnapping and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but it probably are isolated things happening around the country. That's what sells on the news. So that's why you will see that on the news. Now, the other thing is that many countries, many people try to attract tourism to their countries. And Mexico, because of their locations, we have the beach, the food, the people, everything. It's like natural that people come to Mexico and they fall in love. So they try to discourage people from coming here. But trust me, when you come to Mexico, you will feel, even if you're in the street, if you're in the supermarket, if you're in the hotel, if you're in the beach, if you go to the mountains, wherever you want to go, you will feel safe. You need to take precautions like you will do in many other countries, or if you go to a big city. Mexico City has 24 million people. So it's a really large city, and you need to be aware when you're walking on the streets downtown, or just like you will do in Paris or in Rome or in Shanghai. I mean, just be careful. Don't be by yourself at night. Don't wear expensive jewelry or a flashy camera. Just try to blend with the rest of the people, and you will enjoy living in Mexico or traveling around Mexico. So my recommendation is, first, think what you want to do. If you want to increase your level of lifestyle, that will be a reason. Things will be cheaper, yes, but if you want to live the same way you're living back home, that's not going to be cheap. An example will be, some people think that because they have air conditioning back home, they're going to use it here every single day. That's not the case. Mexico City has a perfect weather, so you don't need either heaters or air conditioning. So that's not a reason. The other one is, if you come to Mexico City or any place in Mexico and you think that you're going to be drinking, Heineken or Bud Light or whatever, that's going to be expensive. If you buy the local beer, it's going to be much better, it's going to be cheaper, and then yes, you will be benefiting with those things of saving money. But that's not the main purpose, to save money. Some other common mistakes people do when they come to Mexico is that they don't read. They just think Mexico is a place where they can party, where it's going to be warm, when it's going to be sunny all day. And that's not the case in Mexico City. In Mexico City, we have rain for 6-7 months of the year. And the other thing is that they think that Mexico City is going to be hot and warm because of the altitude. Mexico City, I mean, we're at 2,300 meters above sea level. So mornings and not the afternoons, the evenings are quite cold. Temperatures can be around 13 to 15 degrees. And that's something people don't consider when moving to Mexico City. If you go to Cancun, if you go to Merida, if you go to Monterrey, you need to check temperatures vary a lot across the country. Hello, my name is Jesus Garcia. I'm from Monterrey, Mexico, living in Mexico City. The nature of myself is to help people. So the Facebook group I opened was basically to people that are interested in Mexico to ask questions. I always try to help them. To be honest, when I came here at the beginning, I was following what people were telling me, but little by little, the city started to make me fall in love with the city. Many things happened. I mean, there's not enough time to explain it, but one of them was that I met my wife. I mean, I came here. It was a friend that someone introduced me to her. I didn't want it to meet new people. I was quite close at that time, and I met my now wife, and I've been with her for 20 years now. 19 years. And when people were telling me, why don't you leave, go back to Monterrey, go to San Francisco, go to anywhere in the world, even in between Mexico, I can just tell them that I fell in love with Mexico, and I'm not leaving Mexico City. I'm gonna be here for the rest of my life unless something else happens. But it's a city that once you start living the chaos of Mexico City, you fall in love with it.